We're going to talk about the Google day trade, two Google day trades in the Sector Secrets Mastery this morning. Let's go over the first one. And the first one this morning came with an hourly price movement range entry. The idea was if the NASDAQ could bounce and if XLC could overcome its Netflix drag where the tail was wagging the dog, Google, which was and has been positioned above the previous session close, this was poised to run. The idea was if the NASDAQ could bounce, how many times have we seen weakness in the morning result in a rally? Netflix, if it could just, catch a bid, Google could run. It was a relative outperformer. It was a clean shirt in the dirty laundry of the NASDAQ in the communications sector. And as is so often the case, sadly, Google got drugged down by that dirty, stinky laundry and made its way down to a second entry. Now let's talk about timing on entries. I never am going to add to a loser, right? I'm never going to add to a loser. That's never what we want to do. We had one setup up in here that stopped me out the closer we got to the second setup down in here. So literally as I was getting closed out of the aggressive entry at the hourly price movement range, the second Google entry was triggering. They are not the same trade. They're two different setups. They have two different stop losses. So along the way, I got stopped out of one and got into another. Now the stop loss was 15 cents on the dollar or 15% of premium paid. So we're not taking a 100% or even a 25% risk or stop here. Now, is Google still the clean shirt in the dirty laundry? Yes. So then at 10:15, look, after I got stopped out of the first trade, Google was still a clean shirt in the dirty laundry. And for a lot of traders in our room, they chose not to take the hourly price movement range. It was very quick. And then the second opportunity happened in here. Now, ultimately, this trough, which looks terrible, still held 15%. It got close, but it still held a 15% stop loss, whether you're looking at the hourly price movement range itself, whether you're looking at the Darvis itself, it held. And we were sitting with an unrealized loss, but as long as that unrealized loss is not exceeding 15% of premium paid, you can sit through it, right? That's basically it. And then Google decided to rally. So this is an interesting day where I had one loss of 15% of premium paid. And then the second entry, second trade was a win. And this was a trade that went approximately, I think I got a 305 entry on this one. I'll show you the entry. I'll show you the option price in a moment. And then it shot up to this area right in here. So let's do this. Let's jump on over, as we so often do, to the option chain. One of the things that's really important about day trading is being able to let go of a trade that isn't working so you can make room, quite literally, for something else that might. The entire time, whether it was the first or second trade, we were looking at the 252.5 calls that expired this Friday, October 24. And while Google did just dismantle later in the day, once I get to about 10:30, I'm done looking for day trades. So as the morning progresses, revisiting support levels, I won't be doing anything for day trades after 10:30. So one of the things I love about the way that I've structured my trading day is the first 2 hours are split into from basically 9:30 to 10:30 day trading, and then from 10:30 to 11:30 looking for swing trading setups or fine tuning the watch list so that we could set up more swings. And this is where that zone for the Darvis ended up being, right up in here. So you can see approximately what that pricing would be. And then, in here, same zone, in this area. So this is where the pricing would be. Let me mention this since I made an error in what I was highlighting. Right through here, once we get past 10:30, right through here, once we get past 10:30, I don't care if we revisit this level again. I won't be trading it. So I'm kind of glad I made that drawing error. Got to channel my inner John Madden. All right, so ultimately what happened? How much heat did we take? right? Let's take a kind of high fill. Let's not do an idealized fill, because I know those of you that are just getting used to routing your own order entry and the speed and using the bid and the ask to get your fill. Let's say you had a 350 fill and you're willing to risk down to that 350, trading down to 15% premium. That's 297. We barely broke 3, right? We barely broke 3. Now, let's say you got a better fill, as most of our members did, and they got something in the vicinity of 305. This is where getting a good fill can make the difference between getting in a trade and hanging on to it and not, right? So this 305 fill would put me around 259. Okay, that's a pretty big difference in terms of just 15% risk. The rest of the story is pretty simple. This was easily a 525 to 550 scale out. A couple of our members got out at, golly, 560. But that was Google. One loss at 15%. And then the second trade coming in at about 310, 305, moving to about $5.20 to $5.50. I think anything over about 530 was a great fill here. Now, here's the most important part. Stop trading, right? We got this fill kind of late in the morning, but before our cutoff, which is strictly 10:35 a.m. Eastern, right? Very close, but we met that cutoff. And then after that, stop. Just stop. And that's the hardest thing for day traders to do. The morning for me is the higher probability part of the day. I can get my day trading done, out of the way, free myself up to find some swing trades. And that